Today, we decided to do something fun, a little different on the show. Basically, Diana pulled a BuzzFeed article for me that she thought that I would enjoy reading. And so I'm just going to read it here with you all. I have no script. I have no notes. I don't really know what I'm going to be saying quite yet, but we're about to find out together.
Like an improv conversation. Improvisation.
The BuzzFeed article's title is called I Still Hate Him. People who got divorced months after being married are revealing the shocking reasons why. Well, I feel like I can start guessing those before I even start reading, but I will wait.
What are your guesses?
Typically, the marriages just shouldn't have happened in the first place. Because if you are within months, that is the time that you should be honeymooning to the nth degree. You should be so in love. You should be so happy. Actually, though, I have heard people say that they have some of their toughest months right after getting married. So be warned, Diana. I didn't experience that. But I also really knew the man I was getting married for years. So I wasn't like, oh, you do that weird thing. I knew all the weird things he did. But it was the living together that felt weird. But even by that point, there was no quirks that I was learning about, which was good, I guess. What other reasons would people get married or divorced too soon? Well, I guess we'll find out. I guess that's what this whole video is about. All right, let's see. We recently asked people, so they asked the BuzzFeed community who got divorced in the first year of marriage to reveal their stories. And they revealed the heartbreaking, I don't mean to be laughing, some of this will probably be very sad, and shocking things that led to the ending of their marriage. Here's what they had to say. First one. Anonymous, 34-year-old from California, read his diary, and he wrote that he married me because I owned a house, made a good living, and he needed someone to take care of his 4-year-old son. It was immediately over. I still hate him. Oh my gosh. My gut would be like, don't read someone's diary. Like, that's their private space. I'm glad you did, but I wish you would have done so sooner, actually. That's unfortunate.
Well, that's his personal diary. Those are an instance in time of what he thought. Those things develop over time. That might have been an initial reason.
But like how recent? Like I need to know more details. Was this written within months of you guys getting together or months of you getting married? But no, I guess he said that he married her because of that. So that would have been soon. That wouldn't have been like, I'm dating her because she owns a house. They're now married.
You used me for land development.
That's the journal entry on his wedding day.
Yeah. Don't marry the person if you're writing in your journal, am marrying person because they own a house. I'm not surprised that it didn't work out and that she still hates him.
I mean, if a girl wrote that, though, would we be saying the same thing?
Yeah. Because we don't live in a day and age where you must marry to get into a higher caste of society, or you must. I just watched Pride and Prejudice again. So I was watching about that's how women used to, they had to marry for money. You don't anymore.
I've no money and no prospects, and I'm frightened.
We are blessed. You can marry for love. So I hope that people can find that and avoid marrying for a certain item that you're getting. Items are fleeting. They're there one day and gone the next. Love will power through. Okay, here's another one. There were signs that I ignored. We were together for about 4 years and our relationship was toxic. Well, she was toxic. Okay. I kept telling myself things would get better if we move in together, if we move to a new place. Classic. If we find new friends, if I propose, if we get married. And during a fight, I threw the ring across the room. Several months later, our son was born, and I realized he shouldn't grow up in a household where his folks were at each other's throats, so I left. The divorce took forever because she lied about everything. That seems like he's happily remarried with a loving spouse, but this is just, again, dating advice here. If you think that your problems will be solved by getting married, they will not be. In fact, they will probably become 10 times worse very quickly. When I was in the dating game, people told me that a marriage is sort of like a pressure cooker. And so when you put any kind of problematic issue into it, it just makes it 10 times worse. So stew on that before pursuing a person further, especially taking the step into marriage, because things will not get better if you move in together. They will not get better if you propose. Overall, those things will not solve problems in a relationship. I'm taking the red flag. Don't do that. Don't do it. You'll regret it.
My thing about this comment, though, is she was toxic in our relationship, but he threw the ring across the room. That's not exactly Mr. Peaceful.
It just seems toxic as a whole.
Exactly.
Chucking the ring. Just put it on Facebook Marketplace. Whenever I'm having a bad day and then I see a ring on Facebook Marketplace.
Jeez.
My day.
Please finish that sentence.
No, but it's always a guy being like, someone else can have it. Like, I always just feel so bad. The descriptions, too, that are always like corresponding with those. Tough.
Gandalf, the ring cannot stay here.
Today, since it's a fun episode, my mom will be joining us soon. Well, sorry, I teased that up too much. She'll be sitting over there. You guys won't see her. But But she'll be in the studio in a couple of minutes. So she'll get to read some of this BuzzFeed together. Maybe she'll give some marriage advice, frankly. 30 plus years of going strong with my dad. I forget their exact number. 32? I'm guessing 32. Let's see what she says when she arrives. Okay, let me go get my mom and I'll be right back. Okay, BRB. Okay, everyone. Well, now my mom's here. So, hi, Mom.
Hey.
See? Proof she is in fact here, even though you can't see her, you can hear her. Okay, so where were we? We're at number
5.
Number 5. His personal coach pushed him to make the decision to propose or move on after we had been living together for 10 years. After he proposed, I thought, I can't do this, but I said yes anyway. Brutal. Okay. We had a fairy tale wedding from the outside looking in, of course. And but when we got back to real life, things got worse. He became even more verbally abusive than he had been before, and I was wildly depressed. Okay, let me unpack that for a second. Living together for 10 years, and his personal coach pushed him to make the decision to either propose or move on. So kind of gave him an ultimatum. It's tough that she didn't give him the ultimatum. Like, it's weird that some random personal coach was like, you must do this, sir, and he chose to do the marriage thing. The other thing here is you're living together for 10 years. I would argue that perhaps that is not a good idea, especially if you want to get married. A long duration of time, you should know by then whether or not you want to marry the person. And if you don't, if you have the thought as he's proposing, I can't do this, don't do it. I just envision you're finally down after 10 years and you're like, actually, nope. I mean, sometimes though, to be fair to people in the world, you do have to almost see that happen before people suddenly see the fog they've been living in, especially after 10 years, where you're just kind of complacent, this is good, this is fine. And then finally the marriage becomes a thing. I do this, the box is open and you're like, oh my gosh. So just say no. It's better than this. Is there going to be happy ones? I guess this is all, this is a fully divorce. All right, well, thought I was getting a fun, happy episode today. No, it's all depressing. Clearly, I need to do another episode that's more pro-marriage to kind of equal this out, because right now this is very heavy on the divorce, the bad parts of marriage and commitments, but there are very positive parts as well. So that is something that I will then cover in the future to balance it out. Speaking of balance, you should also be taking Balance of Nature, because with Balance of Nature fruits and veggies, there has never been a more convenient dietary supplement to ensure that you get a wide variety of fruits and veggies in every single day with 31 different whole fruit and vegetable ingredients. Balance of Nature takes fruits and vegetables, they freeze dry them, turn them into a powder, and then put them into a little capsule. Then all you have to do is take your fruit and veggie capsules every single day, and your body knows what to do with them. Lately, I've been on the go, and I do not have time to meal prep or eat a well-balanced meal. Frankly, huge thanks to my husband for actually providing most of our meals right now, and he's just been great. So again, marriage, it can be great. But in addition to my balanced meals that I get via Adam, I also take Balance of Nature. So if you want to give Balance of Nature a try, you can go to balanceofnature.com and use promo code Conrad for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer, plus you get a free bottle of fiber and spice. That's balanceofnature.com, promo code Conrad today. I got married young, 22, after dating for less than 2 years. He was older though, 26, so I thought that made it okay. Nope. All we focused on was our wedding. We never talked about the rest of our lives and what our family would look like, whether we would travel, how many kids we would have, etc. There was nothing overtly wrong. It was just boring and not what I wanted. I moved out after 11 months and realized I didn't want to do this for the rest of my life. We wanted different things for our future, and I was willing to admit that just okay wasn't going to cut it for me. This is another one of those scenarios where then don't get married. Treat marriage like a covenant. Treat it like something that is for the rest of your life. That is huge. So you should be thinking about all those decisions that you possibly can up front. So the big ones, like kids and future plans and, gosh, what are the other things that you'd want to think about? Everything? You'd want to have all of those conversations. Which ones did they not have? They just talked about their wedding. If all you're talking about is your wedding, pause the planning, even for a day. Sit down with the partner and go through a bunch of other questions. And if you realize, oh, we haven't talked about any of this, slow your roll and start talking about all that. Make sure that things are good there. Treat it like it's the biggest thing ever, because it is. It's a huge deal. I know so many people who went and dated for a couple years and didn't really think twice about it. And then they suddenly had one big conversation about one of those major things. And we're like, oh, we're not right for each other. I mean, it can happen like that. So be aware of that. Communication. That was my biggest takeaway from my dating and single years. Communication is key. Right, Mom?
Correct.
My mom saw what happens when I don't communicate well, so she's been through it all. But also though, getting married young, that wasn't an overt sign of negative things here. I didn't got married young, 22, and thought uh-oh, I don't think that at all. I think that people can have absolutely happy marriages and be early 20s, no problem. How old were you?
23.
See? And you guys are married for, how many years?
36 years.
32? I'm guessing 32. All right. I was 4 years off. See, communication. I should be better at it. I should have known that. Oh, and how many months were you guys dating before you got engaged?
Met, engaged, married, all within a year.
All within a year.
Yeah.
See? So it can happen. Yeah. And I wouldn't believe that. Like in the modern day now, I'd be like, you guys only have been dating for 4 months, like bad idea. But because I have you guys, I don't necessarily agree with so I don't say that to people. I just make sure you've had the discussions because you can have all those discussions. Heck, even Love is Blind, and I hate Love is Blind for a lot of reasons, but they do force you to have all of the discussions up front before you even meet the person. So then those people who actually get expedited marriages and then they actually work, I'm not fully surprised because they are having those conversations. In that sense, Love is Blind is sometimes good. This is just making me think of my dad's proposal to my mom. It was really cool. Wasn't it, Mom?
Mm-hmm.
So she was driving home from work, the time that she was always driving home from work, and she always had a certain radio station playing. And so the radio was on, and then the radio DJ said something to like, "Hey, Kim, do you want to get married to Jeff?" Is that sort of right?
He called it in.
He called in. Okay, so he was speaking on the radio and asked you over the radio?
Yes, while I was driving.
And then you couldn't say yes or no, obviously. So then by the time she pulled into her house, he was there waiting for her. Is that correct?
Yes.
See, that's so cute. Okay, are there any other good ones? One of them just said, he didn't know how to use a microwave and called me fat for knowing how to. You can tell it didn't last long. But also, again, coming back to marriage here, because yes, these are funny, but we're talking about marriages. Would you not have known if your partner knows how to use a microwave before you get married? That seems like something you'd learn like week 1. You're making, what do you make in microwaves? I don't use them anymore. TV dinners? Okay, that one's just brutal. This one. Okay, I ignored the red flags while dating, had concerns right before the wedding that I chalked up to cold feet and married anyway. By month 8 or 9, I realized he was not a good human at all. He treated waitstaff poorly and played mind games with his ex when it came to raising their daughter. I suddenly realized I had an exit via divorce. I know, duh. Oh, she means she realized she could leave via divorce? Okay. And didn't look back. I have no regrets and I'm thankful I didn't waste more of my life married to him. Got out at age 30 and have enjoyed life without him. Okay, again, going back to dating advice. That's what I'm trying to make this episode a positive spin. If you are feeling cold feet, if you are ignoring red flags, specifically treating waitstaff poorly, I feel like is a great indicator. I feel like we've seen that a lot on TikTok about girls being like, I realize he maybe is acting like a nice guy, but he's not a good man. That's the thing to look for, a good man. Someone who treats other people, not just you, well. Because if you're the only person in his life that he is treating well, that is a massive red flag. Walk away. Leave. How does he treat his mom? How does he treat his sister? Aunts. Look at that. As a woman, that's your frame of reference. So find those things and track that before you commit to marrying someone. He told me on our honeymoon night that this marriage was a mistake. Oh my gosh. At least let her enjoy the vacation on honeymoon night.
Jail. Right away.
I would love to know the context surrounding that discussion. You know what I mean? Like, had they been fighting? Was it one night after a great dinner? They're like, you know what? This was a mistake.
Who is this article for?
You know, that's a great point. Why was this article even written?
Inspiration to get divorced.
Right. Like, what's the point?
Is it just normalizing? Like, hey guys, if you feel any of these things, that means divorce is imminent. Yeah. None of this is talking about therapy or discussions. It's not feeding into any of these larger problems, which is why I'm trying to make some kind of takeaway here of something else that can be taken from this article, because it just seems like these are the reasons. Oh well. And finally, the last one. Let's read it together. We've been arguing for months about everything and anything. The way we chewed food, the shows we watch, etc. Looking back, neither of us was emotionally ready for the type of commitment. Every conversation ended in tears and a screaming match. We got married in May, thinking it would fix both of our wandering eyes, but it didn't help. I even cried during the wedding and hesitated to sign the license. Fast forward a few months, and she tells me that she wants a separation because she needs time to think about how she feels about me. Oh my gosh. Man, the gut doesn't lie. You know, the gut, call it whatever you want. I think for me, I feel like it's the Holy Spirit kind of nudging you or leading you in a certain way. But for people who just trust in their gut, still trust it. It doesn't seem to prove people wrong most often than not. And so, my gosh, if you are hesitating to sign the marriage license on your wedding day, I guess it wouldn't technically be official till you sign. So even if you said yes at the altar, that's just kind of the look and not the legal. So don't do it. Treat it like you are signing something for the rest of your life, because that's technically what you are doing. Oh my gosh.
Also, why did they think getting married was going to fix their wandering eyes? That's
as if putting a ring on your finger suddenly makes you a different person. That's a huge thing that maybe people think. Like I said, it's a pressure cooker. It doesn't make anything better. It makes stuff worse, if anything. So if you're already having wandering eyes, your eyes don't change the second you put a ring on your finger, okay? Your eyes, your brain, it's all the same. Same body, it's the same everything. If anything, I feel like this episode just makes marriage sound very daunting. And as I sort of alluded to earlier, Diana here is getting married. And so she is in this phase of life right now. And so we talk about this a lot. But marriage is a fantastic gift. If you treat it with the sanctity that it deserves, it can be a long, wonderful, prosperous life for you and your partner to have. And I would say that none other than my mother is an indicator of that. So treat it wisely, make sure to pick the right person, and believe in love because it does exist out there. I promise. And on that note, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video if you enjoyed it. And last but not least, if you want more content, you can also follow me on my personal accounts as well as our new comment section Instagram. See you guys in the comments.